We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
More inflation numbers, police officers killed, UN condemns Russia, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. Inflation ran hotter than expected in September as persistent prices continued to squeeze U.S. households and worsen a political headache for President Biden with just 1 month until midterm elections. The Labor Department said the Consumer Price Index, a broad measure of the prices for everyday goods, including gasoline, groceries, and rents, rose 0.4% in September from the previous month. Prices climbed 8.2% on an annual basis. These figures were both higher than the 8.1% headline figure and 0.2% monthly increase forecast by economists, which is a worrying sign for the Federal Reserve as it seeks to cool price gains and tame consumer demand with an aggressive interest rate hike campaign. These numbers followed higher than expected Producer Price Index numbers, which report on wholesale prices. In an even more concerning development that suggests underlying inflationary pressures in the economy remain strong, core prices, which strip out the more volatile measures of food and energy, climbed 0.6% in September from the previous month. From the same time this year, core prices jumped 6.6%, the fastest since 1982. The United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly Wednesday to condemn Russia's attempted illegal annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine. The 143-5 vote, with 35 abstentions, called for Moscow to immediately reverse its attempt to take over Ukrainian territory. It was the strongest support for a resolution against Russia since it invaded Ukraine in February. The vote marked a symbolic defeat for Russian President Vladimir Putin, although the UN can't enforce the resolution. Russian forces continued air attacks in retaliation for a blast that damaged a key bridge between Russia and Crimea, a Ukrainian peninsula that Russia annexed in 2014. Russia hit areas around Ukraine's capital, Kiev, with Iranian-made drones early Thursday. Ukraine said the drones targeted critical infrastructure facilities. Federal Reserve officials indicated at their September meeting that inflation had exceeded their expectations, and they anticipated keeping interest rates high for an extended period to bring price increases down, according to minutes of the meeting released Wednesday. Members of the central bank's Federal Open Market Committee decided they needed to move to and then maintain a more restrictive policy stance in order to meet the committee's legislative mandate to promote maximum employment and price stability. The Fed decided at the meeting to raise its benchmark short-term interest rate by 0.75 percentage points, the third straight time it made such an unusually large rate hike. Officials noted that inflation was showing little sign so far of abating, indicating that more rate hikes are yet to come. The nation's crime wave and attacks on police expanded outside major cities as 2 police officers were fatally shot and 1 was seriously injured during a call for a domestic incident in Bristol, Connecticut, late Wednesday night. Bristol police responded to a reported possible domestic violence incident between 2 siblings. When officers arrived, 1 suspect was outside of the residence and shots were fired, fatally wounding 1 officer on the scene. The 2nd officer died at the hospital, and the 3rd was seriously injured. Sergeant Dustin DeMonte, 35, and Officer Alex Hansey, 34, were identified as the two officers killed in the shooting, according to Bristol Police Chief Brian Gould at a press conference Thursday morning. Officer Alec Urado, 26, was severely injured and taken to St. Francis Hospital in Hartford for surgery. He is now recovering from surgery, according to Gould. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and any platform that respects freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.